Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Today, I'm here to tell you our very successful story I had with a client. Before that, I want to remind you that in our magazine, Restore, Flourish, Thrive, which is pinned on the top of this group, you can read about a very successful story of Molly, who gracefully agreed to be published, where we explain absolutely in depth everything she was dealing with and how this case progressed to a very positive story. I am going to tell you about another person, Michelle. We published in the magazine on page 27 her testimonial. I worked with Michelle in 2018. I then wasn't a herbalist still. I studied herbs under the holistic coaching program, but I wasn't that brave to offer herbs to people. So Michelle came to me, and she was quite guarded and reserved. She didn't know what to expect. She had cardiac asthma. And cardiac asthma is a state of acute respiratory insufficiency. It's part of something bigger, which is called dyspnea. Dyspnea is breathlessness, or it is shortness of breath. So for those, there are remedies which are external and internal remedies. But like I said, at that time, I didn't know about that. I just asked her to do some lifestyle changes and to start working with me. So we started doing some exercises for improving her posture, positioning the lungs better, and most importantly, strengthening of that pathway between the nervous system and the respiratory system. So I started with lifestyle changes, and I told her to get rid of a few foods she was consuming on a daily basis, and that did not go well. She liked her yogurt with fruits, which I couldn't convince her that is loaded with sugar, and I want her for a certain period of time to take this off of her number of foods she was consuming, and she didn't want to give it up. I asked her also to stop the gluten. Gluten is very, damaging in all conditions. And she didn't want to do that either. She liked her rye bread. Okay, but she continued having her wheezing, coughing. She had also not only shortness of breath, but she had a swelling in the bronchial tubes from time to time, which was very unpleasant thing to deal with, because this is very uncomfortable, scary, because of which she had anxiety. And I had trouble convincing her that asthma is a reversible obstructive lung disorder. You can help people with asthma. Of course, if they have acute asthma where a lot of help of medical doctors is needed, there could be just alleviating of the symptoms. So not in her case. We started slowly. I started working one-on-one with her, and she continued to be very apprehensive, very reserved, and I didn't really see great results. Usually for the first couple of weeks, you have to start feeling that what we're doing has some results. And to those of you who are going regularly to chiro, who are going regularly to physio for years and they haven't seen results, you are wasting your money big time. So then I offered Michelle, let's add you to a group to see how other people are doing and to observe their success. And let me tell you, in these cases, people start believing that it's important for them to heal as well. That's what we are doing in this group. We are sharing stories, so you know that this is possible, and you start thinking, maybe I can alleviate my symptoms as well. So what happened was she made friends with a lady, and they started walking together. Walking is a great way to get those fluids pumped in your body, because while you're walking, the body is doing this. It constantly, you have one hip forward, the other hip forward, one shoulder forward, the other hip forward, and the body is like a spiral and it moves constantly. That helps the body to pump those fluids up throughout the body. They will transport nutrients, they will transport oxygen, they will start cleaning and cleansing your body. And because our bodies have a perfect self-cleaning system, and one of the things I really suggest for the asthma is walking, swimming, and of course Eldor, the method that I was doing with her. So why I was doing Eldor with her? Because Eldor not only works on the posture, it improves the space between the vertebrae, it decompresses the nerves as well. And most importantly, in this case, Eldor makes it possible for water to go into the fascia, and that fascia starts functioning on an optimum level. The fascia is a provider of signals throughout the body. We have fascia sheet that is attached to the back of the eyeballs all the way down to the fingertips and the toes. That's why in this method, I'm asking the clients to spread your fingers, to flex the foot, and if they can, spread the toes, eyes down, so we pull that fascia. That fascia, as I said, brings information throughout the body, and it can tighten or release the muscles so they can act accordingly in an optimum fashion. It's a very interesting process, it's a very interesting method, and it gives fascinating results. So there was a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, and I said, well, Maria, I feel more mobile, I feel good. Okay, that's what to be expected the first few weeks. And the visible change comes for some people after the first month. It depends on how often they exercised and how did they do their lifestyle changes. For others, it takes good 3 months to say, yeah, and to see themselves in the mirror that, yes, things are changing, and to say, yeah, the pain disappeared, or my asthma was alleviated, now it's way better. She was on the medication. She was also constantly with her pump, with the fear that at any moment she can have shortness of breath, and because of that she had this anxiety. So 3 months passed, and she said, you know what, I haven't used my pump actually for over 2 months. I just realized that, and this is so good, and I feel like my anxiety just went down. I don't feel so insecure, unsafe when I go for my walks. I have still a pump with me because the fear is still in the back of my head, and I would never suggest she to go out without the pump, just in case. But we continued working, and we worked for over 6 months. And the doctor had to change also her blood pressure pill because her blood pressure started to regulate. and apparently at the end the dosage was extremely low, and she had to move. She moved very far away from me, and we couldn't do Zoom then. In 2018, it would never come to me that we can do exercises on Zoom and we can continue working together then. So yeah, that was a very interesting case, a very successful case, because to breathe is the most wonderful thing on earth. And I think to be able to take a deep breath is important. And I really appreciate her way of approaching her condition. I find this very motivating for people, because I'm sharing her story, I'm sharing her testimonial, and I think she can inspire other people to do the same. So here is a successful story for you, something to reflect on, and you can tell your own successful stories in this group for other people to hear it, and for other people to be motivated and inspired to also start moving on the path of healing. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I wish you a wonderful day.
Follow for more Transform Perform. Drop a comment if you have any questions.